what I would recommend is, can we throw some power in there as well? To a level that we can keep it safe for the individual, obviously. But it's important that we have this idea of power training. So when we're thinking of power, work over time, or force times velocity, and one of the things that you'll see in the physics books is that the force has this little emblem above it. It's kind of like a half arrow. You guys remember that in your physics textbooks back in the days? For me, it was way back in the day, a long time ago. And what did that arrow mean? That there's a direction to force. Now, when we do power training traditionally, bless you, what direction do we typically do our power training in? Up and down and forward. And that's it. What I would think is a more resilient human body would be powerful in how many different directions? Omnidirectional. 360, all around us. And the more different directions that I introduce to my body and stimulate it, the more ready it will be if that ever comes about in a sporting or life scenario. So it becomes important then for us to challenge power and subsets of power in multi-directional ways. One of the things that we lose when we lose power is the ability to recruit our fast twitch muscle fibers. Our nervous system can't find them as readily, and we see diminished returns in regards to those fast twitch fibers turning on for us. So it becomes important to do power training to stimulate that again, to get the type 2 fibers to turn on for us so we can move powerfully. Another thing we lose is fascial stiffness and elasticity. It's a very young crowd as I'm looking around. So if you pull on your skin and you let go, what's it going to do for you? It'll snap right back, which actually serves you well. Your skin helps you move. It's highly elastic for a reason. If I do this, what's all this skin doing? Stretching. What's this stretched tissue want to do? If I do this to my shirt, what's it want to do when I let go? It goes back. Your skin helps you move. The ligaments, tendons, and fascia surrounding your muscles underneath, guess what? Highly elastic, just like your skin. What happens as we age? Wrinkly skin, wrinkly fascia underneath. That tissue loses its elasticity. So now in order to move, you got to use more muscle energy to get the job done. You know what's really interesting about skin and fascia? It does not use energy to get the job done. Who uses energy? Muscle. Muscle is very expensive. It uses a lot of gas, a lot of energy to get the job done. Who doesn't use any gas? Who's the Tesla of the body? Your skin and your fascia. But the thing is, you have to load it. You have to stretch it, then let it go so it can do its job. And the only way to retain that is you have to do power training and elasticity. Go do plyometrics with Chris to help maintain that as you age. So that's another thing that we end up losing. And then nerve conduction velocity, big fancy word. All that means is that your nervous system, the impulses, don't fire as fast. They don't fire as fast, it can't get the muscles to contract at the right time, and therefore you can't move powerfully. So that's why over time, what happens to gait? It goes from here to what? To here. Part of walking, there is power behind it. There's momentum behind it. And so it becomes important for us to be able to introduce this form of training for all populations, not just our athletes. So that's my case. This is a heavy, heavy application session. So I hope you're prepared to move, because it's important to try some of these strategies out as well as coach some of these, because I imagine most of you are coaches. So here's what I want you to think of. By the way, if you want these slides, you don't have to write everything down. I'll send you a link. There'll be a link at the end of this that you'll be able to just take a picture, and then you can go download it on your phone if you want. These are the directions I want you to think about. Anytime you do any sort of power training, subsets of power training, you could be doing deceleration training. To me, that fits underneath the umbrella of power. Deceleration training is part of power. What's the opposite of deceleration? Acceleration. What happens when you combine deceleration and acceleration? What do we call that? We call it agility, right? That's agility training. Speed, quickness training, that all falls underneath power. Max power training, that's all underneath the umbrella of power. And what I would challenge you with any of those modalities is to enhance the body to do any of those strategies in these directions. Anterior, posterior, up, down, rotation, and in the frontal plane. And then any combination. Let me give you some ideas of what some of these look like. We're going to go through at least 2 or 3 drills of each one of these. Sound fair? Cool. So let's take a look at this one first. There's 2 of them here. I like this because this is starting power. He's in a dead position, 3-point stance, and now he's got to accelerate forward, not up, forward, which primes the body then to be strong and powerful from that very unique position in that direction. The second drill is also forward. He's got to basically replace his hands with his feet, which is forward, not up. Super simple drill. Not easy. Not easy. And you'll see that a lot of people, they don't have that elasticity right away. But if you practice this, guess what happens? It starts to come back. Let's go play with these 2 drills, and then we'll justify them. Come on over here to this area. Lots of space over here. So guys, I'm going to post up right here. Can we half dome around me? Can we half dome here? So, ideally, you have a nice warm-up before doing any of these type of drills. We don't have that luxury. Real quick, can we do these couple drills for me? I need to warm up myself a little bit prior to being really elastic. So here's what we're going to do. Just indulge me. This is something I like to do as a quick little warm-up. I'm going to create some friction in and around the knee to enhance circulation, to create better movement in and around that structure. So I'm just going to rub up and down real quick until it gets warm. Should take that long. Got it? You don't want to scrub your skin raw. So real quick, generate some heat. On the sides, I'm going to go right below the kneecap. Right above the kneecap. Straighten out the leg. You know those tendons that you feel? Scrub them. I'm going to go up into the hamstring belly a little bit, down into the calf a little bit, scrub my shin. Okay, stand up and move. You might find one side feels a little easier to move through. Let's do the other side. Okay, let's go. I like to go to the condyles of the knee, just get a quick little scrub. Right below the knee. Go down the shin. There's no particular order. Just make things warm. Into the calf belly. On those tendons on the backside there. Hamstring belly. All right. Now, a little bit more awake from a region of the body that I need some space. I need some good movement, okay? So, you guys saw that first drill. We were in a 3-point stance. We're going to hold this position. You guys can just watch me first. My back toe is digging into the ground. And then what I'm thinking of is not what muscle I need to engage to jump forward. What I'm thinking is the task at hand. And I'm looking at that line. I'm like, I'm going to get that fucking line right there. Okay, and I'm going to try to tackle that line from this distance. Okay? What you'll notice is that your first couple reps are always a bit sloppy. What's the nervous system do quickly? It starts to say, oh, that's the task at hand. Okay, hold on. Didn't do that very well. You know what? I got to do this now. I mentioned in my last session that the nervous system is incredibly lazy. It's like, I don't want to use anything if I don't have to. But because the task is pretty challenging, it's going to take a couple reps for things to kind of wake up. So you're going to go back to that 3-point stance. Push. And this floor is a bit slippery. So, let's see. How can we modify this? Because ideally, as I drive into the ground, I'm thinking of driving this foot deep into the earth, almost like I'm trying to make the earth spin. Does that make sense? The problem is my foot can't grab as I push into the ground. That was a little bit better. And so I want you to try to create some distance from here and land both feet. Well, you know what? I think it's going to be safer on this ground to land staggered. So you're going to go here, and I want you to propel forward with the right leg. Does that make sense? That way there's less slipping going on. No ACL tears in there, yeah? So here, and then drive. And we're going to go forward. Let's go on my count. You guys ready? It's good that I tried first, right? Because I just saved everybody's knees. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. My count. You only want 50% right now. 50%. Just practice the motion. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Woo, love that sound. Walk it back. Walk it back. Give me 70% now. You guys ready? 70%. Go. Fantastic. Walk it back. So this is acceleration training, right? This is not about metabolic conditioning or cardio. It's not about how many reps we can do. I want every rep to be more and more powerful. We're up to 90% now. You guys ready? Go. Oh, love it. Take it back. All right. Can we give me 100% now? 100%. Ready? 3. All right. He's like, get out of my way. Please don't hit me. Go. Woo. Fantastic. Take it back. You probably want to do the other side, yeah? You got to balance yourself out. Other leg. Okay, ready? 50%, it's a new side. 50%, ready? Go. Like it, good control. Take it back. We're gonna go up to 70% on my go. 3, 2, 1, go. Fantastic. Go back again. Let's go 90%. 3, 2, 1, go. Fantastic. Here comes the big one. Here comes the big one, team. 100%. Ready, go. Fantastic. Great job. Take it back. Now, you guys were focused on your movement. Awesome. Real quick, from a coaching perspective, did you guys notice my cadence was a little bit different in terms of how I was speaking to you and engaging you? I said, let's go 50%. Ready? Let's go. By the last one, what did I do? Ready? Let's go. Right? Because my energy will excite your nervous system more to get more out of you. That really helps the client out a little bit. So you can use some coaching elements to get more power with them. So that's anterior power from a 3-point stance. To give you an idea with this, what I like to challenge people with is to get them out of their comfortable postures. So this is a 3-point stance that's pretty easy. Here's a 3-point stance that's going to be really hard to generate a lot of power from, which is a good thing. Because the more challenging the position as it becomes, the more your nervous system has to learn to generate power from this new odd position. If you do it from a bunch of different positions, guess who's now more resilient? You are, the client is. Because their nervous system has been exposed to a multivariable environment, not the same one over and over and over again. Does that make sense? So the next one, the 3-point stance, is going to be wide. You're going to be here, and when I say go, you got to still go forward from here. And you're going to find that that position changes the ball game big time. Let's go to that new position. First one, 50%. Especially because this is new. This is a new environment out here, isn't it? Okay? So here's what I need. I need to see everybody's nice, pretty smile. In order to do that, what do you have to do with your chest? Okay? Get your butt out. So in this position, notice how my back's still straight, isn't it? It's still straight. I'm not flexing my spine. It's still nice and tall. And you're trying to take your hand. See my heel? It's directly out to the side. The farther you go, the harder this is going to be. So go to an area that you feel pretty stable. And when I say go, you're going to go forward. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Nice job, very good. Take it back. So you have an idea, that was interesting. Different posture, different position. Chest up nice and tall. Let's go 70%, ready, go. Fantastic, one more time. Go as much as you feel comfortable with, okay? Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Awesome, great guys. Take it back, you probably want to balance yourself out. Let's do the other side. Nice and tall on this side. This should be your other side, yeah? Back nice and tall, I like that. Chest up, and go. Good job, take it back, 2 more. Excellent job, drive that hip out, back tall, go. Excellent job, nice jump. Okay, last one. Ready? Your maximal effort that you want to put in right now, go. Nice job, very good. Okay, nice. Come in a little closer now. We're not going to take a big distance. You're going to go into a crawl position on the next one. And all we want to do, I like to start off with lots of bouncing to then help me propel into my hands. So I start here to begin with. And it's going to be really hard with this slippery floor with a lot of downward force. Slip. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work with this environment. You could go against the wall. That's kind of
less feet and more arms.
Well, it kind of defeats the purpose of what we're trying to create, though, which is, yeah. Let's do this. We're going to change. So we're going to take the hands here, and now we're just going to frog through, okay? This will be safer on all of us. That's going to be the most important thing, okay? So hands by the feet, and you're sitting in a frog stance. Okay, and all you're going to do is rivet forward, okay? If you can, as you land, arms up. Got it? 3, 2, 1, go. Fantastic. Excellent. Take it back. One of the challenging things with anterior power, you're trying to go forward. So where do you need to push into the ground? Not just down, but down and where? Down and back to go forward. So obviously the environment needs to be a safe environment to do that effectively. This still works a little bit. Let's do one more. Ready? Frog position. Nice and low. Bounce. Bounce. When you're ready, go. Nice, good, perfect. So the bounce, there's a cadence, and you're promoting an elastic recoil, and when you're ready, you get the timing down, that's going to propel you forward. The next step is to get rid of the bounce. So it's pure starting power. You're in a dead position, there's no elastic recoil, and you have to generate a lot of power from that. So I need you down for 2 more. There's no bouncing on this one. Get as low as you can. You're going to hold it there. You're slowly losing your elasticity by maintaining this posture. And then we're still asking the body to be powerful from here. Ready? Go. Nice. Good job. Take it back. 1 more. 1 more. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Fantastic. Take it back. Show you a slide, then we'll come back and play some more. All right, so this is more for posterior power, about driving a lot of force behind us. In this case, posterior power is going to come from what element of the body? What aspect of the body? Front side, the back side, the sides, top side, the bottom side. Where do we need a lot of power quickly? What has to get long? This has to get long quickly. So this tissue has to go whoom. As this tissue does this, what do we not want to happen here? We don't want to go through a lot of quick lumbar extension, especially under load. So as this tissue gets long, where do these hips have to go to keep this safe? The hips need to go forward here. Now my spine doesn't have to go through a great deal of extension. You save the back, and where do you place tension? Right here. Place it in your tissues, not in your joints. Does that make sense? There will be a bracing. What's interesting is you don't have to purposely brace. Do me a favor, sit up nice and tall. Or actually just stand up for a quick second. Stagger your legs for me. Left leg in front of the right. Bring your hips forward. Your back heel will come off the ground and then come up with your arms. Now, palpate your stomach right now. What's happened already without you having to squeeze that tissue? It's already turned on for you. It's already stretched and it's on. So what's nice is I actually don't have to necessarily brace because you have mechanisms, the reflexes that will kick in to help turn on the abdominal wall to lengthen while moving in that direction. Does that make sense? So, as he drives to the wall, my cue to him is to bring the hips forward. That's it. That's it. Hips forward, and in this case, he's going to go staggered stance and then hips forward. I would probably regress it right away for most people, and I would go staggered. This is an easier position to get long quickly because there's more room for the hips to go forward. Versus if I'm bilateral, I have to have an insane amount of dorsiflexion to get my hips to go forward. If you got it, great. It's easier for most people to be here. Make sense? So we're going to practice learning how to be here quickly. And then, similar type of drill, changing the stance. Where's his weight? On the back leg or the front leg? As he steps back, his weight is on the front leg. We don't want to go on the back leg because now there's a posed risk of extending through the spine. So it becomes a little bit too risky. No reason to go to that risk. Not enough reward with that risk. So here, now he's going posterior, but what else are we adding to the drill? Rotation. Got it? Now we're rotating and going posterior. So now he's learning not just to load the abdominal wall straight up and down, but to get this shoulder to the opposite hip and to get this tissue to go boom and stretch. And then it recoils and it comes right back. Okay? And then this drill, doesn't want to work for me anymore. Anyways, he's basically going to step forward and then do a reverse chop over his shoulder. So that same tissue that he's practicing here is now loaded, and we're going to practice being powerful with that. So I want you to partner up, and can you come grab a Viper, because that'll be our load when we go to the third exercise, okay? And we'll show you how to use that for the third exercise. Let's go. There's a good amount of people in here. We're probably going to have to go groups of 3, okay? Groups of 3. And let's stick with the lighter ones. Let's go lighter ones, and then I'll show you how to use the big ones. We're just not going to lift. We're not going to lift it. So groups of 3, 1 Viper per 3. All right, so I'm over here again. All right, leave your Viper there. We're not going to use it just yet. In your group of 3, we'll do a little round robin. We're going to practice with the wall. We're going to do that first drill. And you're going to stagger your legs. Your back foot will be as close to the wall as you can get with just the toes into the ground. Okay? I call this a 1.5 stance. So 1.5. This would be a 2. Got it? So split stance, 1.5. And what I want you to do here is nice and gentle, bring your hips forward and find the wall. There's a ball up in the ceiling. If you do it well, you'll see the ball in the ceiling. Okay? Now the idea is to practice driving the hips forward as you reach up and overhead. Now to get here, once you practice this, then the idea is to get here quick. And the idea is just to touch the wall, but to be able to move to that position with some speed. Does that make sense? So I want one person to go while the other 2 are coaching to make sure that the person is executing it well. Because what will you see if somebody's not doing this well? I don't want to demonstrate it too more forcefully on myself, because what I'll end up doing is I'll herniate a disc, right? I'll extend through my spine quickly, and we don't want that. Does that make sense? So you're learning how to load the abdominal wall by bringing the hips forward while you reach overhead. You'll feel tension here and through the abdominal wall if you do it well. You got plenty of wall space all the way around here. Got it? Let's do nice and easy, 3 or 4 reps to get the motion, and then do 5 quick ones per side, and then we switch. That's it. So guys, eyes on the hips. The knees and the hips will go forward as they go up and overhead. Yeah, the knees should go automatically forward, yeah?
Okay.
If you bring your hips forward, to go forward more, what has to bend?
Yeah.
Your knees. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thanks.
You're welcome. Yes, sir.
Did you find that for beginners? Because I understand what you mean with the automatic tension on the abs when you do this movement, especially when you push the hips forward. But for beginners that are less
Kinesthetic.
well, less built strength in the abs, that they'll have more of a higher risk of still arching the back, even when you're pushing the hips forward.
Not necessarily.
Because yeah, obviously not necessarily, but I'm thinking for a lot of people, the back is stronger, the back muscles are stronger, the extenders are stronger than the abs. And for those people, there still is putting a lot of pressure on the lower section.
Again, it really only happens if the hip doesn't move. And I agree with you, a lot of beginners, their hips don't do a shitty job of moving.
No, but even when you push the hips forward,
Okay, so when you did that motion, what you just showed to me was spinal extension.
yeah.
So I don't want you to extend
Exactly,
your
but
spine.
that's my point. So even when you push hips forward, you can still do a hyperextension.
You certainly still can.
Yeah.
And I have no problem if you want to spend time teaching the individual to find their trunk and to be able to keep a tall spine without extending or hyperextending.
Because what I was thinking, sorry to interrupt you, but what I was thinking is to tell a person to breathe down to the stomach and light brace first, and then do that. Then
Okay.
you take that out. Don't you think?
I
It's
don't.
a very quick cue.
I love it. That's great. I think you're making the environment safe. So
Yeah.
I think it's really smart. Absolutely.
Good. I'm special.
Is it okay
Cheers,
that
thank
you
you.
can feel it in your back, or are you extending the back?
You're expending it too much.
Yeah?
Yeah. If you do it well, it's all here. Better. 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 And if you need to, bend your knees more and see if that helps.
Yes.
There you go. So if you feel it in your back, most likely the hip isn't going forward enough. So something that you can ask the person to do is go down with it. It forces the hips to decouple, which opens up your back to move.
But only with Disney, or also with Disney, like the sort of
If you're feeling in your back, then I'll say go down and
this.
forward. Yeah.
Okay, like this.
If you need to, but eventually it's not. You're not going down. Eventually you want to be able to do this, right, where you're going forward, right, but you're not. That's it. That's it. Okay, everybody go. Questions? It is fair for somebody to feel this in their back, especially their first time doing this, okay? A simple cue that you can use is to bend the knees more. Bend your knees more as you do it. They'll drop down more, but they'll still be able to reach the wall, and they're still practicing creating length through this anterior chain. So that, you can start there before going to that. I would recommend anyways, power training for posterior power might be the last type of power I would introduce with somebody. It's the most unknown for a lot of these individuals. I would have to teach them to be able to tolerate this to begin with. Doing drills like this as a warm-up to introduce to the nervous system how to get there to begin with would be very, very smart. We don't have enough time in one session today to do all that. So what I'm giving you right now are just ideas. And I'm giving you the idea that posterior training might be something you do weeks later down the road as they learn how to do more known power. Is that fair? Let's do the one now. Let's go half circle around me. Stand near your group. And now what I'm going to ask you to do is the one where you step back and you're going to throw over your lead shoulder and then come back. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. Start in a staggered stance, or excuse me, bilateral stance, soft knees, athletic stance. And then what you're going to do is take your right leg back, but keep your weight on your left leg. Got it? Right leg goes back, weight on your left leg. All I want you to do is this. Take this shoulder to this hip and come back. Just practice that. Right shoulder to left hip. Right shoulder to left hip. Right shoulder to left hip. There you go. The other right shoulder. Okay, let's do the other side real quick. Ready? Soft knees, left shoulder to right hip. Got it? So that's the direction that we want to go. But instead of going down, we're going to go up. And what I want to ingrain with that little drill is how to keep your weight on the front leg. Because a lot of us will go back this way. And I don't want you to go back. Stay forward. Take your hands, put them together. Put them on by your right hip. Okay? As you step back with this leg, you're going to chop, reverse chop over that left shoulder. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Come back. So you're preloaded. Let yourself rotate here. Let yourself rotate into it, yeah? 3, 2, 1, go. Nice, good. Come back. Ready? Preload. Turn your hips into it. And go. Nice job. Good. Last time. 3, 2, 1, go. Fantastic. Other side. Other side. Preload this side. You're allowed to turn your hips and trunk here. Got it? And then when you're ready, left foot goes back as you drive up and over the shoulder. Nice and easy pace at first. Ready? Go. Great job. Reset. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice job. Come on back. 3, 2, 1, go. That's it. Last one. If you're feeling a little antsy, you want to do a little bit more. Ready? Go. Fantastic. Good job. Very good. Now, the next one you're going to do is you're going to take a load. And to be powerful, if I increase my load, what happens to my velocity? It oftentimes goes down, doesn't it? Right? If I have too heavy of a load and I try to be powerful, I can't be as fast with the movement because the mass is too heavy. So if you have a light Viper, great, you're going to grab by the middle, just like this. You're going to do the same drill, except instead of going back, we're going to go forward. And I want you to stomp the ground. Hup. Come on back, stomp. Okay? If your Viper's pretty heavy, then what you may want to do is you put it on end, just like this. You'll pre-position, you'll kind of tilt it towards this hip, and then you're going up and overhead. Now, you're not loaded up and overhead, but this weight's going to pull you this way. You're still having to stabilize that as you get long. So this can still be beneficial. So you're here, and then you're stomp and go over the head. So the idea is to be able to take this tissue and get it long quickly. Does that make sense? So with your group, let's go 5 reps on each side. 2 coaches are helping you out. Okay, give it a shot. That's it. Guys, I want to hear everybody stomping the ground with this one. Hit the ground hard. Nice. Hey, let me suggest this. Grab it like this, like a barrel, and turn it around. There you go. Feel better?
Yeah.
And then turn, yeah, there you go. There you go. That's it. You got it. That's going to feel comfortable there. That's it. Now, shorten your stance a little bit, because as you got really long, that happened a little bit, yeah? A little bit smaller. That's it. Good. Now hit the ground. Hit it hard. That's it. Good. Fantastic. Can I use you as an example for these guys? Can I use you as a coaching example?
Yes.
Cool. To share to everybody?
To share everybody.
Yeah. I'll coach you.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. What's your name?
Faisal.
Faisa?
Yes.
Nice to meet you. That's it. Other shoulder. You're going the wrong way. Well, if you go now, there, that's it. That's it. Everybody gets 5 reps each side, yeah? Let me hear you hit the ground. Let me hear you stomp. All right, timeout. Guys, bring it in for me, please. Guys, bring it in, please. Can you demonstrate? So, a couple coaching things to look for. Can you do the very first, remember the first one, how you took a big step? Yeah. So, I was watching, it was Faisa? Yeah. So I was watching him do this move, and then go ahead and do that first one that you did. So that was actually a really good one. He was stepping really far, and you saw that his hips got stuck, and then he was doing a lot of motion from his hips. So easy cue that I gave to him was, hey, don't step as far, but hit the ground harder. And so he did that. There it is, good. So it's gonna be a little cleaner as he comes across. And what was cool to see is that when you went longer, you actually stabilized better. So then you can go back to that lengthened state again once he learns the strategy of how to strike the ground hard to get this tissue to get long. Does that make sense? Has anybody done any kind of posterior power training like this for this reason, to make this tissue strong and powerful while you lengthen it? Okay, cool, something that we learned. Let's go take a look at the next direction. You can leave the vipers where they're at. Okay, so now we're going to upward power. And I imagine if you think upward power, what's the first kind of drill you think of? Vertical jump. Okay, keep using that. That's an upward power drill that you can use. Now, a lot of the clientele that I've worked with, some of them can't even jump. Can we still improve power with somebody that can't jump? Absolutely. Absolutely. So these acceleration drills are great because you don't leave the ground. But yet you're still asking to be somewhat more explosive than you traditionally are if you're just a typical sedentary individual. So this first one's awesome because you're teaching the body how to wind up and load this glute into this lat, and then take that corkscrew effect to drive vertical power. So it's a great way to wind the body up and then push and get up. We can do the same, similar effect with weights. So we can do weight training for power. This is how we can do it. We do a 3-0-1. So down for 3 for any drill. You can do this with bench press. Down for 3, and then it's not even 1, it's X, meaning that as fast as possible, boom, back down, boom. So we can take traditional weight training and use power by taking this cadence, a 3-0-X effect. The last one there, he's doing a vertical press with the band. I like the band because of the elasticity that's within it. The waves that it creates as you go up goes into our body to help us generate power. And so we're going to use these upward power drills, and then I'll add a couple modifications to show where you would go with this, where you would progress with this, even without ever leaving the ground.
Why are you always leaving the stretch reflex in the power movement?
Say again?
Why do you always leave the stretch reflex out of the power movement?
So the question was, why do I always leave the stretch reflex out of the power movement? I don't always. If you keep the stretch reflex in, that's called plyometric training, which is a subset of power. So you could do all that with a stretch reflex where you bounce. Absolutely. I like to start here with a lot of people and then progress to that. So great question. Other questions? We good? Let's go make it happen. What time does this one go to? What time does this one go till? Do you know? 12:20? All right, let's do this next one together. Let's do this next one together. You guys ready? Okay, you guys ready? Let's go split stance. Let's go split stance. we're going to take your right elbow. Okay, thank you. We're going to wind up towards the opposite knee. You don't have to touch the knee, but I want you to go in that direction. And then what I want you to do with that back arm is I want you to imagine that you're uppercutting somebody and drive straight up, okay? You're going to go up, and you'll rotate into that direction, and then you're going to come back down. Ready? Let's go together. 3, 2, 1, go. That's it. By eliminating the stretch reflex, our focus now is on acceleration. Our attention, the intention is acceleration now. Ready? Go. That's it. I'll have you come down, and I'm going to have you hold it. Because maybe I don't want any stretch reflex. I want pure muscular power. I would have you hold it here. Hold it. Hold it. And go. That's it. One more time. Go. Nice job other side. Split stance, 1.5. Take that opposite arm across. Drive this other arm into an uppercut. Go. Come on down, nice and soft. We're going to hold. Hold. Pure acceleration with this drill. Go. Nice job. Get out of this get out of this position, yeah? Imagine you're getting stuck in mud. Get out of the mud. Ready? Go. Nice. Good. One more. Go. To your point, can we make this elastic? Ready? You're going to come down and bounce out. Got it? You don't get stuck. Do not allow yourself to get stuck down here. Come on down, wind up, go. Got it? If you need to leave the floor, leave the floor. Ready? On your own pace now. I can't stop you. Generate enough power that your feet leave the ground. See if you can drive the arm enough that your body leaves the ground. That's when we know we got some good power behind us. Ready? That's it. And now it's going to go quick. Ready? Got it? Now that's more plyometric. He's dabbing. Okay, make sure you get the other side. Other side, make it more plyo. Make it more plyo. So meaning that you're going down and up as quickly as you can. Ready? Other side. Okay, good. You know what I love about this type of upward power? Is we learned how to maximize upward power by using rotation. In what sport? What Olympic sport? Did we learn that in order to go up, we have to rotate? High jump. What are the original high jumpers? Back in the days, you look at the black and white video. How did they jump over? They just stayed in the sagittal plane. And then this guy came in named Fosbury. He created the Fosbury flop, which was ridiculed at first because it looked so silly until the results won, until everybody was beating records using his technique. What did he do? If this is my high jump, instead of going right at it, where did we go? This way first, didn't we? To create this angular momentum. And then we struck the ground, boom. And then we propelled and twisted and rotated up. We learned that in order to go up efficiently, we actually have to rotate. And we need to rotate really, really well. That's why I like that kind of drill. It's not the Fosbury flop, but it's a great way to introduce generating a lot of upward force effectively. The next drill was what? We are doing upward power. We had the band, and what was the other one? Let's use the Viper. So let's do a wide grip. And now here's what I'm going to challenge you. All of you, I know, can do this very well. You're going to be able to come down, 3 seconds, boom, and drive vertical. You can go onto your toes as you leave. I know that you can do this well. So we're not going to practice that. Here's what I would take your body to make it more resilient, something that's a little bit more advanced. is I'm going to challenge you in a position that you don't practice. We're going to go long staggered. And you're going to come down. And I want you to come forward and up. I want you to think as you come up that your back knee is going to break this viper in half. Don't break the viper in half. But I want you to pretend that you're doing that. Does that make sense? So now you're going to come down, bow through the hip, and accelerate up and out while under load. It is important that we maintain a tall spine while we do this. I don't want to see people down here in a staggered stance, and they're like this, and then accelerating with load from flexion to extension. You're going to hurt yourself. I need to see a tall spine, and it's all about bowing from the hip. So what you would want to practice first is just learning how to bow here, yeah, before you start to accelerate out of that position. Okay? Focus on going up versus forward. You're going to come forward, but focus on going up. Go up towards the ceiling. Head is going to break the ceiling with this one. Less forward, more up. Less forward, more up. So you're going to go up versus forward. Forward's good. That's anterior power. We want vertical power, up. That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because then you do this asymmetrical stuff, and then you go do something bilateral. Your body's so switched on. You've got so many more muscles primed to do that job. You are right on the money. Nice. You're coming at me. Go up towards the ceiling. I want to see you do this. Go up. That's, you still come, see, you're coming at me a lot. So you're landing, look how long the stance is. If you do it right, see that? Look at your stance. So here's what I want you to do. You're going to hit my hand with your knee. Better. Okay, better. Yep. Try to hit my hand. Focus on my hand here. Back tall. That's it. Better. Good. Notice, feel the difference? It's more this way versus that way. That's different. That's what we did earlier. That's anterior power. That was good. Yeah, because you went up and you just landed forward, but your body went up.
I don't get the power right, it seems, because my feet is too far away to get it up. I should stand more here.
Well,
I can get it
that's easier.
Yes.
Of course. So guess where I want you? Where it's harder.
Out of the comfort zone.
Totally. Because look, if you learn how to be powerful here, boom. How easy is this now? How easy is what you normally train in? That becomes so much easier because you've trained outside of this. And if you're powerful in that far, you will become even more powerful in your shortened stance. So then for those athletic positions become even more enhanced. Make sense? That's why I wanted to give you that. Because I know all you guys can do this really well. It's easy. That's it. Less forward, more up. You're still going forward a lot. Go up. Your back foot will do this. You'll jump. That's better. Okay, it's new, so try it again. It's okay to be sloppy at first. Okay, good. Now, hey, up, quick. Get up. That's it. Okay, good. Now, let's take that same winding effect. Now that you've learned that drill, here's what you're going to take your Viper. You grab the small one for sure. Instead of going straight down, where can we go with this? Let me suggest right here. Because what did you practice unloaded already? Make sense? So now let's practice it loaded. And you're going to wind here. Now let me recommend this. Bring your foot closer in. because this position is going to be awkward for many of you. But the idea is to go up, straight up. And if you want to drive the arms overhead, you can do that as well. Okay, thank you. Give it a shot. Give a couple reps on each side. Go forward, go up, not forward. That's it. You're coming forward a lot. Go up. That's it. You're not allowed to touch me. Got it? Don't touch me. That's better. Don't even come close to touching me. That's better. See, feel the difference? It's up. I go here. You can. That's harder. You definitely can. That's advanced. You can do this. That's advanced. This is easier.
Okay, I was thinking of more the diagonal power.
Yeah.
If you do this.
That's not wrong. That's good. It's harder, right? Because it's not just up. It's up with a lot of rotation in an awkward stance, right?
But it's more less up. It's more like the force is more focused on the diagonal.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
Not on the.
Well, that's the thing is use this to go up.
Okay.
That's what I would challenge you at. That's new, right? The brain's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a new skill, right? Good. Now, time out. We're going to do downward power. Downward power. And then we're going to use downward power first for deceleration, to focus on decelerating well. So what you're going to practice here together, all of us together right now, is you're going to go onto your toes. And then what you're going to do is step forward. You're going to fall forward and catch yourself into the ground, and you're going to stomp on the ground. And the idea is to go down. Got it? You come onto the toes, you fall forward, but you catch yourself. Look at my position. Short and flexed. Who's catching you right now? Who's catching you right now? It is all butt. Your butt is preventing your face from hitting the floor. So you're teaching your butt to decelerate this forward motion. Make sense? So come on up. Advanced would be here. Advanced is here. And then, boom, strike down. Oof. Guys, what happens to a lot of knees in deceleration? We see a lot of this, yeah? So this type of training is designed to enhance stabilization while we decelerate into the ground. Now, the next step, take your hands. I'm going to rotate away from the leg, and I'm going to strike across as I go down. Got it? So, my right leg is up, so therefore I'm going to pre-position away. I step forward and go down, and you chop across. So now you're fully decelerating with your butt muscle. Make sense? And then boom. Let me hear you. That's it. Let me hear you hit the floor. Good. Nice. And then what's the next step? After body weight, we got load. Now, I love a dead ball or a sand bell, not a medicine ball. Because if I throw a medicine ball down, what's going to happen? It's going to go straight up into my face. So I like the dead balls. You throw it in the ground, it just dies. Take that and do these same drills. And then you're just trying to drill a hole into the ground. Many of us do these type of drills, but it's always straight up and down, isn't it? What can we now add? Multi-directional power. where we can pre-position at different angles and strike the ground. If I learn all these different angles, who is a more resilient mover? You are, because you've been exposed to that new environment. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Here comes a challenging one. We're going to decelerate in the frontal plane. We're going to decelerate in the frontal plane. And to do this well, I'm going to need you with your shoes off. You go barefoot or in socks. Here's what you're going to do. So a lot of times we practice flexing at the hip, right? And we always flex at the hip where? Forward. Guess where we also can flex? Sideways. As I do this motion, my back's tall. What I'm not doing is flexing my spine laterally. I'm not doing that. Instead, what am I doing? Softening the knees and driving my hip out. My back, can you see how it's staying tall? So who's catching this? Glute medius. Glute medius is about to catch your weight. I like to start with the shoe. You're here, you're going to drop it and catch it as close to the ground as you can while maintaining this tall posture. Does that make sense? So you're here, maybe start small and just do this, just to get the rhythm down. And then, more advanced, is boom, right at the ground. Here's where the challenge is. Most of us don't do this very well to begin with, and then we're asking to move fast here. This is an advanced exercise. So we got to learn how to move this first before we even think about moving powerfully in that position. So that's a caution, right? Learn this first, teach this first, and then this is a great deceleration drill. And eventually this becomes what? Mass. This becomes mass, and then you catch mass. If you do this right, it's all butt here. It's all glute medius, top part of your butt. That's going to be catching this weight and coming back up. Awesome. Fun game, yeah? For some of us that like to move. All right, let's have a seat. We'll wrap things up. Do me a favor, grab your Vipers and just place them over there on the side. Interesting. So more lateral power, your lateral bounding, your ice skaters, that would be lateral power. He's doing that drill that you guys just did. He's just using a weight. Rotational power, you guys know this already, right? You guys do a lot of wall ball stuff where you're like this against the wall. That's why I'm not putting it here. You guys know that already. You can put that in here. These are a couple great deceleration drills. Fits underneath the idea of power. I like this. He's starting against the wall. He actually is pushing himself off the wall to then accelerate towards the ground more, and then he's got to catch himself as he pivots his feet. So he's decelerating rotation. So that's downward and rotation power. Same with what Johnny's doing over here. He's doing a bounding power, bounding pattern while under load and learning how to decelerate all that. So how well do you think he's going to be able to decelerate without mass? Just his own mass, if he's practicing this with you. He should be more resilient. He should be more resilient. Guys, do me a huge favor. Write down or type in your phone one thing you learned from this session, just one. Just one thing that you learned. And what I want you to do, your homework, is to go do that one thing with people that you think it's acceptable for. Got it? If you're working with clients right now, go think of the clients that you think this would be appropriate for and practice on Monday. If not, if you don't train yet, then you're going to practice on all your mates and on yourself. I just want you to practice that one thing. Okay? I know I threw a lot at you. Here's what's kind of fun. When you do programming for power, you know how we do chest day and back day and all that kind of stuff? For power, I like to have acceleration day, deceleration day, agility day, loaded power day, or combinations of these things. And then, with any of these modalities, you know the different directions of power? I'm going to try to tap all of them with acceleration. I'm going to accelerate in all directions on that day. I'm going to decel in all directions on that day, with the intent of creating a more resilient human being that can tolerate high force demand and being able to move explosively. If you want the link to this slides, take a picture of that, and then you can download this on your phone. If you like these kind of geeky type sessions, this is what we talk about at our mentorships. We talk about how do we take these elements of strength, power, metabolic conditioning, mobility, etc., and how do I implement it for health outcomes? Because a lot of times in the gym, it's all about just aesthetics, which is cool. Keep doing that if you love that. But the aging population stops giving a shit about aesthetics. I'll be honest with you. It's more about their function and their ability. So how do you train them? That's what we focus on in our mentorships. So if you're interested, come check us out. Learn more at iomeurope.com. And then we also have education that we deliver to your phone. If you go to Platform by IOM, search for that in the App Store. We have a free app, lots of free content. And then our premium content's only $9.99 US dollars, which is like €6 or €7 a month. And then it gives you access to a lot of these different things that we're talking about, as well as fulfill your CEC requirements if you're a certified personal trainer. With that said, guys, thanks for the great turnout. Enjoy your lunch.